In India, drinking has been viewed as an amoral act. India is traditionally a dry and has an abstaining culture from drugs. Urbanization and globalization processes have not only led changes in economic system but also in social, familial and cultural settings. When people started to take up Western culture, they questioned the existing value system in our society. As a result, consuming liquor is no longer an immoral act. There are adequate supports that drinking and the usage of drugs in India is been increasing. Particularly, the use of alcohol has increased disproportionately in younger age groups. This is primarily due to peer pressure and life away from family circumstances. When youngsters live away from their parents and familial control owing to educational and employment grounds, they start learning such habits. That is why peers have an important role in socialization process. It is mainly from friends we start learning dreadful things. The problem of alcoholism until a few decades ago was considered a moral problem, but now it has turned into a severe social problem. Alcoholism. Let us first see the explanation of the concept. Alcoholism. Alcoholism is a condition in which an individual loses control over the alcohol intake in that he is constantly unable to refrain from drinking once he begins. From this, it is clear that a person who is addicted to alcohol consumes it above the prescribed level per day and cannot stop drinking daily. Let us understand the concepts alcoholic and occasional drinker. An alcoholic is different from an occasional drinker. A person who cannot live without taking alcohol is called an alcoholic. For an alcoholic to be normal, he needs liquor. You might have seen people in drunken state and rolling on the roads shamelessly. They are the examples of alcoholic. Alcoholic doesn't have any particular timing and place to drink. He drinks anytime and at any place. Occasional drinker is the one who takes alcohol once in a while. For example, people drink when attending parties and other occasions. From Vaskin's point of view, an alcoholic is an excessive drinker whose dependence upon alcohol has reached such a degree that it results in a noticeable mental disturbance or an interference with his bodily and mental health, his interpersonal relations and his smooth social and economic functioning, or one who shows the early signs of such developments. Broadly speaking, alcoholism has been characterized by four factors: excessive intake of alcoholic beverages, that is taking alcohol more than required to the body, individuals increasing worry over his drinking. Family members may warn the drinkers to keep off drinking, but drinkers somehow manage to drink in spite of warnings. They keep thinking on how to cheat the family members and well-wishers who want him to abstain from alcohol. Every time, boozers may be thinking of alcohol than any other important issues in his life. Loss of the drinker's control over his drinking. Drinkers fail to limit alcohol consumption. Fourth one, the disturbance in functioning in his social world. Imagine a man drinks every time. Can he carry out his responsibility as a father, husband, son, brother properly? Does anyone give him the due respect? In such cases, he neither fulfills others' expectations nor his own needs other than boozing. Thus, it affects the social world badly. Causes of alcoholism. We are familiar with that alcoholism creates personal and familial tensions. Although by knowing the detrimental effects of using alcohol, one may wonder why an individual wants to fall into the pitfall. You know, men generally start as a casual drinker, but later on become addicted to it, which has a detrimental effect. Sociologists have identified certain causes of drinking. Now, let us look into those factors responsible for drinking. Klein-Bell has associated parental attitude with the problem of alcoholism. The causes of alcoholism are authoritarianism. Generally, Indian parents are very strict. In some cases, too much of authoritarianism can produce deviant behavior among the children. Second one, overt rejection. When children are denied and abandoned by their parents, children may drink to hide their emotions. Third one, success worship. This generation children are facing abundant of pressure from their parents to get caught into the rat race. Only success is considered to be the essence of life. Such attitude may give him or her great depression, which makes them to drink. Some of the factors mentioned by G.R. Madan in his book Indian Social Problems include occupational factor. A large number of men drink because their occupation has completely exhausted them. They look forward eagerly to the relief which intoxication affords. In American society, they have a culture of working hard during weekdays. To relieve from the demands, they enjoy their life in the weekends. Due to the impact of Western culture, Indians too have started imitating such culture from them. Ignorance. Men who do heavy manual work have long been misled by the belief that alcohol furnishes added strength and vigor with which they can pursue their labor. This illusory feeling of physical vitality after the consumption of alcohol is the cause of drunkenness. For example, we have noticed people like manual scavengers drink while they work to avoid unpleasant smells from the drainage. Men drink for companionship, for fun. Do you agree nowadays college students taking alcohol is in increase? This is because they just wanted to have fun and enjoy their companionship with their friends. Urbanization. The urbanization and mechanization of life along with material mindedness has also been responsible for the increase in drinking. Social inadequacy. There are certain persons who are unable to face the hard realities of life and start drinking to overcoat their social inadequacy temporarily, which later on takes the form of habitual drinking. Let us learn on the impact of alcoholism on individual, family and social level. Impact of alcoholism. How social deviance like alcoholism create social problem in a society. Most of the social problems emerge from the use and abuse of alcohol. For example, a good number of persons arrested for crimes like rape, burglary, murder and theft are those who committed them while under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol is a major factor in highway accidents. Besides, it contributes to thousands of deaths every year. Alcohol and drug addiction are destructive not only for the individual but also for his family and the society at large. Drinking and individual disorganization. When alcohol is used in excess, it modifies relationships, changes the reality of social values and brings about highly individuated attitudes. The excessive drinker may forsake his home, his family and his business. When under the influence of alcohol, he may be a talkative or gloomily silent. His conversation may seem vulgar to the sober observer. When he is under the influence of alcohol, he may be a liar, a scoundrel and may even commit murder. Drinking and family disorganization. Drinking affects family and they are the worst hit of all other members. The relationship between an alcohol abuser and his or her family is complex. Family members experience guilt, shame, anger, fear, grief and isolation due to the presence of an alcohol abuser in the family. They are often subjected to moderate and severe forms of harassment, conflict and tense atmosphere when they confront the drinking behavior of their alcohol abusing family member. The problem of drink and family disorganization are closely allied to that of personal disorganizations. Drink is also a motivating factor in many family tensions. It is generally said that liquor has been a traditional enemy of love and marriage. Chronic alcoholics often become completely disintegrated in the opposite sex. Today, this friction has been greatly increased by increase in drinking among women. In lower class families where people have neither the knowledge of law nor the resources for divorce, drunkenness often causes untold misery. The family legally retains its solidarity, but the moral cohesion is completely shaken. Drinking and community disorganization. The public hall or hotels where drinking along with other allied activities such as dance, prostitution and gambling goes on brings community disorganization. The elements of privacy of clandestine drinking in an atmosphere conducive to overindulgence, encouragement to excessive drinking by keeping girls as entertainers, permitting gambling and such other entertainment is often a menace to public decency. Unless and until drinking is held in check, it creates a grave problem. Drinking are lured off after effects of alcohol rather than its own benefits. There are nearly 30 to 35% adult men and 5% women are regular consumers of alcohol in India in the year 2010. According to a monograph on alcohol related harm, implications for public health and policy in India, 2011 by the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, revealed that over 50% of regular alcohol users fall into the category of hazardous drinking. Hence, it is our bounden duty to stop the menace at very young age. Drug abuse. Say no to drugs and yes to life. Drug abuse is life abuse. Born free, live free. These are the messages which are relayed by the Ministry of Welfare, Narcotics Control Bureau. According to the World Health Organization Expert Committee, drug addiction is defined as a state of periodic or chronic intoxication detrimental to the individual and to society, produced by repeated consumption of a drug, either natural or synthetic. Now, let us have a look at the basic concepts which are related to drug abuse. More precisely, drug refers to any chemical substance which affects bodily function, mood, perception or consciousness, which has potential for misuse and which may be harmful to the individual or the society. When we talk of drug abuse, it is the use of illicit drug or misuse of legitimate drug resulting into physical or psychological harm. It includes smoking ganja or hashish, taking heroin or cocaine, injecting morphine, drinking alcohol and so forth. The word addiction is generally used to describe physical dependence. The difference between habituation and addiction is that habit is not as compulsive as addiction is. The characteristics of drug addictions are an overpowering desire or need to continue taking the drug and to obtain it by any means, a tendency to increase the dose, a psychological and generally a physical dependence on the effects of the drugs, and the fourth one, an effect detrimental to the individual and to the society. Motivations in drug usage. What are the causes of drug abuse? The causes may be classified under four heads: psychological causes, social causes, physiological causes and miscellaneous causes. Psychological causes include relieving tensions, easing depression, removing inhibitions, satisfying curiosity, removing boredom, getting kicks, feeling high and confident and intensifying perception. Social causes like facilitating social experiences, being accepted by friends and challenging social values. Physiological causes includes staying awake, removing pain and getting sleep. And the final one, miscellaneous causes include improving study, sharpening religious insight, deepening self-understanding and solving personal problems, etc. Besides these factors, There are two key factors which play a vital role in the addiction of drug abuse. Role of family and peer group in drug abuse. Family and peer group associations are the primary potent influences upon the direction which individual takes and maintains in his life. Ram Ahuja hypothesized in his study of drug abuse among college and university students as drug usage was influenced by the quality of affectionate family relationships. The study revealed that in a good number of cases, the families of drug users were not normal and family relationships were not affectionate. In testing the relationship between drug users and staying away from parents, it was found that family background is significant in drug usage. The nature of family control, the discipline imposed by the parents over the children, the parents' interest in their friends, leisure activities and their future career prospects, and parents remaining conscious of their obligations. The drinking or smoking and drug taking behavior of family members also had a bearing on the use of drugs. It may therefore be maintained that family environment is an important factor in drug usage. Like the family, peer group pressure was also found influential in drug usage. Drug users had friends who were already drug users. Users were initiated into drug use by their friends. Users always took drugs in the company of their friends. Users got first knowledge of drugs from their friends, and users had first taken drugs in their friend's home. All this shows that peer group culture has a significant effect on the drug use behavior. The main causes of drug abuse are family environment, mental condition, social factors like oppressive social system and power structure, social subcultures, peer pressure, personality factors and pursuit of pleasure and fun. Theories of causation. The theoretical explanations of drug usages may be grouped broadly under four heads: psychological, physiological, socio-psychological and sociological. As far as sociological theories are concerned, it holds that it is the circumstances or social environment which makes people drug addicts. Sutherland's differential association theory, when applied to drug usage, explains drug taking as behavior learned from other persons, principally in small intimate groups, that is from family members and peer groups. The social learning theory, which is the expansion of differential association theory and the reinforcement theory, has been propounded by Akers and Burgess. When the reinforcement theory merely assumes that drug dependence is conditioned learning, the social learning theory explains the social sources of reinforcers that operate in the learning process. The reinforcement comes from association with persons favorably defining the drug use. For instance, new drug users may be reinforced to take drugs from their social environment. The strain theory focuses on the intense pressures put on individuals that cause them to deviate from the internalized norms. According to Merton, the source of his pressure is the discrepancy between goals and means. Those who fail to achieve these goals through legitimate means become so frustrated that they turn to the use of drugs and alcohol. According to this theory, when an individual could not able to attain the goals, say for example getting pass mark in the exam through the socially acknowledged norms, that is working hard for the exam to get pass, then he resorts to take drug due to depression. The subcultural theory holds that different groups within society are socialized into different sets of norms, and deviance is a judgment imposed by an outside group. Thus, what may appear to be deviant behavior is really conformity to a set of norms espoused by one group but rejected by another. When young people taking alcohol may seem to be a deviant behavior for their parents, but for the youngsters it is a kind of having fun, since adult culture is different from youth culture. Likewise, slum dwellers are worst addicted to drug usage, since it is a part of their culture, but for us it seems to be an aberrant behavior. All of the above sociological theories have their own perspectives, but each theory leaves a number of questions unanswered. In Ram Ahuja's social bond approach, he has explained drug abuse in terms of weakening of social bond between individual and society due to maladjustment in status, unattachment to their social groups, and non-commitment to their social roles. It is individual's attachment to others, commitment to his social roles, and adjustment to various situations that determine his values about what is good or desirable. His behavior patterns and his motives in deviating from the dominant values of the culture. It is only by recognizing the role and analyzing the nature of these three factors in particular, or social bond in general, that we can predict the extent of drug abuse and control measure. Control over drug abuse. The control over drug abuse can be made possible by adopting the following measures. Imparting education among drug abusers. The target population for educational measures for prevention should be young, particularly those living in hostels and away from the control of their parents. People living in slums, industrial workers and truck drivers and rickshaw pullers. Second one, undertaking follow-up study of addicts treated under detoxification programs. There are so many welfare programs to de-addict an individual from drug abuse. A study must be conducted to know the impact of the program. If it has been successful, then it must be implemented extensively in other places of the country as well to bring about a change among the abusers. Giving deterrent punishment to policemen and other law enforcers. Parents need to play a crucial role in controlling drug usage among their children, since parental neglect, over hostility, rejection and marital disharmony play an important role in perpetuating drug addiction. Parents have to take care in keeping the family environment congenial and harmonious. Conclusion. To conclude, it may be said that drug abuse has become a growing threat to humanity. Drugs pose complex problems for law enforcement agencies, while drug traffickers and mafias play havoc with the social structure of our country by wielding enormous power with ill-gotten wealth and influence. Drug users who take drugs to seek instant remedies to their depression, frustration and anger suffer physically, economically, emotionally as well as socially. Since 1991, June 26 is observed every year as an International Day Against Drug Abuse and illicit trafficking to create awareness among drug abusers as well as those who are engaged in waging war against drugs. Our main task in policy and action is not only to control supplies of drugs but also to reduce demand for drugs. Prevention, treatment and rehabilitation all require a positive and life-affirming campaign. Persuasion, motivation, coercion, compulsion and punishment are the measures, all of which have to be used so that drug abusers can be made to resist the temptation for drugs and to live a wholesome drug-free life. Families and voluntary organizations can also play an important role in bringing back the recovered addicts into the mainstream of social life.